Chapter 16, Pricing Objectives and Policies. In this lecture, we're going to address pricing objectives and how they should guide strategy planning for pricing decisions. Choices marketing managers must make about price flexibility. Marketing managers should consider various things when setting the price level for a product in the early stages of the product life cycle. Many possible variations of a price structure, including discounts, allowances, and who pays transportation costs. The value pricing concept and its role in obtaining a competitive advantage and offering target customers superior value. Legality of price level and price flexibility policies, and many new terms. So price is one of the four parts of the marketing mix, and we're going to look at the importance of price and describe how it interacts with other marketing mix variables. So we're going to address and obtain a better understanding of pricing objectives and policies that influence how firms make pricing decisions. Price is what a customer must give up to get the benefits offered by the rest of a firm's marketing mix, so it plays a direct role in shaping customer value. Price is one of the four major variables a marketing manager controls. Price level decisions are especially important because they affect both the number of sales a firm makes and how much money it earns. So we're going to talk about price in the context of pricing objectives, pricing policies, pricing and customer value, legal issues, and pricing policies. And then the next lecture will be how prices are actually set. So, guided by the company's objectives, marketing managers must develop a set of pricing objectives and policies. The pricing objectives and policies should spell out how flexible prices will be, at what level prices will be set over the product life cycle, to whom and when discounts and allowances will be given, how transportation costs will be handled, and clearly prices reflect many dimensions which in turn impact customer value and buyer behavior. So, price plays a direct role in shaping customer value. Price is the amount of money that is charged for something of value. The things for which prices are charged range from purely physical products to products with substantial service components to pure services. College tuitions, apartment rents, hotel room rates, country club dues, bank interest rates, airline fares, and attorneys' fees are examples of price. So this chart shows and summarizes some possible variations of price for consumers or users. And on the price side, discounts, allowances, rebates or coupons, transportation, and taxes may alter the list price. The price ultimately paid equals the value component. So as shown here, this component may be much more than a purely physical good and may encompass intangible value assessments, such as the assurance of quality. So, on the price side, discounts, allowances, transportation, and taxes may alter the list price, although they operate somewhat differently than in the consumer market. For example, quantity discounts and traded allowances are typically more important to channel members than to final consumers. The price ultimately paid equals the value component. So as shown here, this component may encompass elements of each of the four P's. And since the final consumer does not have to resell the product, certain elements of the four P's have greater or lesser importance to channel members. For example, the expected profit margin on resale is a critical issue for channel members and is packaging that facilitates shipping and handling farther down the line in the channel. Company level and marketing objectives provide the guidance for setting pricing objectives. Pricing objectives should be explicitly stated because of their effect on the pricing policies adopted by the company. Pricing policies also affect other aspects of the marketing mix, as marketing managers use strategy planning to support the information communicated to consumers through the product's price. Two types of profit-oriented objectives are common. Target return objective, which sets specific guidelines for a level of profit. Prices may be linked to a percentage of sales or return on investment. Some companies just want satisfactory profits that ensure the firm's survival and provide adequate returns to shareholders. Companies that are industry leaders, as well as public service companies, often pursue satisfactory profits because of the public scrutiny they receive. Profit maximization objective is when the firm sets prices to seek as much profit as possible. This objective may be used to recoup high investment costs, or it may be simply a matter of company policy. Profit maximization can be socially responsible, as it does not always lead to high prices. Prices that are initially high during market introduction can go down in the later stages of the product life cycle, thus expanding sales and profits. With sales-oriented objectives, pricing supports the objective of increasing sales, without regard to the effects on profit. Sales growth doesn't necessarily mean big profits, because marketers may overlook the costs associated with delivering those sales. Market share growth objectives are popular, coupled with a long-run view of the overall market growth rate and attention to costs. This approach can lead to long-term competitive advantages. Give one product away to make money on another. Some firms use low prices or giveaways to help sell another product or sell to other customers. Some examples include computer printers are free with a computer purchase, but the customer has to buy print cartridges, which are quite expensive. Google is free to consumers, but Google sells advertising to firms. For firms content with the way things are, two status quo objectives are often used. They might be termed "don't kick the pricing boat" objectives. Meeting competition stabilizes market prices because no firm benefits from raising or lowering prices. This objective is often used when the total market for the product is not growing. With non-price competition, aggressive action is taken in the other three areas of the 4 Ps, staying clear of price as a competitive battleground. Many specialty goods compete using non-price competition aimed at the consumer who is seeking advantages other than price, such as prestige, image, or high quality. So let's check our knowledge. An industry-leading high-technology company just announced that it was cutting its prices and would price its products at whatever price level was necessary to protect its market share. This is evidence of a sales-oriented pricing objective. A sales-oriented price objective seeks some level of unit sales, dollar sales, or share of market without referring to profit. So this example shows evidence of a sales-oriented pricing Price policies usually lead to administered prices, consciously set prices. This practice is difficult with indirect distribution, but administered prices help achieve pricing objectives. One key decision is about price flexibility policies. One price policy is the same for everyone. It is common with frequently purchased inexpensive items. It can be more convenient, entail lower transaction costs, and maintain goodwill with customers. Flexible price policy is offering different prices for different consumers. Pricing databases make flexible pricing easier, less costly, and less time-consuming because they contain information about different customers. Salespeople can also adjust prices to take into account the competition, the firm's relationship with the customer, and the customer's bargaining ability. However, too much price cutting may erode profits. A flexible price policy may prompt resentment by customers who do not get the lowest price. Channel conflict may also result, or an unauthorized gray channel may evolve if customers buy in large quantities to get a price break and then resell what they don't need. So here we see the impact of price cutting on profit. A small price cut may not seem like much, but keep in mind that all of the revenue that is lost would go to profit. So let's take an example of a company selling a product for $100. A 10% price cut reduces the price to $90. In this example, let's assume the cost per unit is $80. Now the 10% price cut results in a 50% drop in profit margin. Marketing managers must approach price cutting very carefully. In administering pricing over the product life cycle, marketing managers must set price level policies. They must consider where the product life cycle is, how fast it's moving, and they must decide if their prices should be above, below, or somewhere in between relative to the market. Price policies have strategy implications that must be supported with appropriate resources. So in this ad, we see a digital camera industry. Prices have declined regularly over the years. At the same time, product quality has improved. Two of the major price level policies are price skimming and price penetration. A skimming price policy feels out demand at a high price point before aiming at more price-sensitive customers. Skimming may maximize profits in market introduction if there are a few substitutes or if customers are not price-sensitive. Skimming has critics who charge that this policy should not be used for products such as prescription drugs that have important social consequences. But on the other hand, the profit generated from this strategy provides the firm with an incentive to pursue other breakthrough opportunities. When well executed, price moves down the demand curve when each price-linked segment is nearly exhausted. The new price and new features should attract a new target market and help maximize profits over the course of the product's life cycle. Penetration pricing policy tries to achieve volume at a low price. A penetration policy typically aims at setting a price low enough to discourage competition. And if successful, large volume may help producers lower costs further, leading to still lower prices. So marketing managers have several other options in setting price levels. Introductory price dealing uses a temporary low price to attract customers to new product launches or new versions of products. So for example, in this ad, Lean Cuisine offers consumers $1 off the purchase of the new Asian-style cuisine meal. There may be different price level policies throughout the channel. When selling to members of a channel of distribution, prices must allow for the intermediaries to make a profit. The price of money may affect the price level. As more firms compete internationally, exchange rate changes can have a significant effect on price level policies. Fluctuations in exchange rates subsequently affect the demand for products in international markets. Most prices start with a basic price list. The price final consumers or users are normally asked to pay for products. Discounts or reductions from price list prices given to buyers who either give up a marketing function or provide it themselves. Quantity discounts encourage volume buying. The customer pays less per unit. Cumulative quantity discounts apply to all purchases in a given period. Non-cumulative discounts apply only to individual orders. Seasonal discounts encourage buyers to buy sooner. Manufacturers use this policy to help shift the storing function down the channel and to stabilize demand. Cash discounts are reductions in the net, the face value of the invoice due immediately, to encourage buyers to pay quickly. 210 net 30 is the same as 2% off the price if the invoice is paid in 10 days, with the net due within 30 days and an additional interest charge after 30 days. Consumers say, charge it. Retailers that accept credit cards pay a percentage of the revenue from each credit sale for the service. Trade discounts are reductions in list price given to channel members that perform one or more marketing functions for the producer. Sales prices reduce list prices temporarily to encourage immediate buying. They can condition buyers and sellers to shop for sales and may erode brand loyalty. Everyday low pricing uses low list prices rather than relying on frequent sales, discounts, or allowances. Allowances are given to channel members or final consumers for doing something or accepting something less. Advertising allowances exchange something for something else. Price reductions given to firms in the channel to promote the supplier's products locally. Stocking allowances are also called slotting allowances, and these are given to intermediaries to get attention and shelf space for a product. Stocking allowances are used mainly in supermarkets where space is at a premium, forcing producers to pay for product placement. Are stocking allowances unethical? Some producers think so and call them a form of extortion. Small producers think that stocking allowances put them at a real disadvantage compared to larger producers with more resources. Retailers, on the other hand, call stocking allowances an insurance against product failures. Producers must produce better products that consumers really want in order to secure shelf space. Manufacturers or wholesalers give push money allowances to retailers to be used as incentives for their sales clerks to aggressively push the targeted items. Trade-in allowances are when the customer receives a price reduction for used products when similar new products are bought. So let's check our knowledge. A construction company is considering purchasing a new crane from a distributor of such equipment. The distributor offers to provide the construction company with a few $1,000s worth of credit on an old crane that the company would like to replace. This credit offered by the distributor is a trade-in allowance. A Trade-in allowance is a price reduction given for used products when similar new products are bought. The credit offered to the construction company is considered a trade-in allowance. Consumers using coupons and rebates can receive other reductions in prices. Coupons are printed vouchers that entitle buyers to a price reduction at checkout. So in clipping coupons, consumers get more for less. Retailers accept coupons because they tend to increase sales volume at no additional promotion expense to the retailer, and retailers are typically paid for the trouble of handling the coupons. Many firms offer discounts through coupons. So here we see Colgate is offering $1 off the 2-in-1 toothpaste product. Rebates are refunds given consumers after a purchase. These ensure that the final consumer actually receives the price reduction. Retail prices sometimes vary accordingly to the location of the buyer relative to the seller. For many industries, geographic pricing policies are an important component of the price variable in the marketing mix. FOB is free on board. The seller pays to have the product loaded on a transportation vehicle, at which time the title is transferred to the buyer, who pays shipping and is responsible for the product at that point. FOB pricing is easy for the seller but may limit the range of the market. Zone pricing smooths delivered prices by applying an average freight charge to all customers in the same specified geographic area. This simplifies billing and helps buyers know the delivery charges in advance. Uniform delivered pricing charges one price to all buyers. So in effect, all buyers are in the same zone, helping to open large area markets. Freight absorption pricing is when the company pays the cost of shipping without charging the price in order to get the sale. Freight absorption helps a distant company to compete on equal grounds in any other territory. So let's check our knowledge. Janet Eckert wants to buy a new Volvo. She lives in Richmond, Virginia, but can't find the exact color and model she wants at her local Volvo dealers. She searches the web and discovers that a dealership 90 minutes away in Alexandria, Virginia, has the car she wants. She called the dealer and found that the price of the vehicle is the same as it would be in Richmond, although the Alexandria dealer wants to charge Janet an additional $150 to have someone drive the car from Alexandria to Janet's home in Richmond. As Janet was about to reject the offer and hang up the phone, the dealer offered to waive the extra shipping charge and make the price exactly equal to the price in Richmond. This geographic pricing tactic by the Alexandria dealer is a form of freight absorption pricing. As in this case, the firm absorbs the freight costs that a firm's delivered price meets the nearest competitor's price. The simplest geographic pricing policy for a seller to administer is uniform delivered pricing. This is considered the simplest pricing policy because it makes the same average freight charge to all buyers. Many of the traditional views of pricing emphasizes the perspective of the marketing manager. However, it's also important to look at price from the customer's viewpoint. Value pricing sets a fair price level for a marketing mix that really gives the target market superior customer value. There are price choices in most markets. The focus of value pricing is on the customer's requirements and how the whole marketing mix meets those needs. Value pricers try to give the customer unpleasant surprises because they increase value and build customer loyalty. Value pricers define the target market and the competition. For example, people may want low prices or exceptional personal service. The market structure and dynamics mean that meeting competitors' prices may be necessary, especially in an oligopoly. Value pricing fits with strategy planning. It expands the definition of price beyond money and it links it with customer-oriented value. That way, the desired value is what is actually received. And here we distinguish between the various pricing policies and discounting tactics that are often implemented when marketing a product. Some pricing decisions are limited by government legislation. Minimum prices are sometimes controlled. Unfair trade practice acts put a lower limit on prices, especially at the wholesale and retail levels. These acts protect the viability of certain types of intermediaries and indirectly benefit the consumer by providing more choices. Dumping is pricing a product sold in a foreign market below the cost of producing it in its domestic market. Anti-dumping laws protect domestic producers from foreign competition. Regulators can set prices. You can't lie about prices. Phony list prices are prices shown to consumers to suggest that the price has been discounted from list. In the U.S., the Federal Trade Commission tries to stop this practice using the Wheeler-Lee Amendment, which bans unfair or deceptive acts in commerce. Price fixing is when competitors getting together to raise, lower, or stabilize prices. It is considered conspiracy under the FTC Act and the Sherman Act. Price fixing is illegal. You could go to jail, go to prison. Producers may set minimum retail prices. Manufacturers usually suggest a retail list price and leave it up to the retailers to decide what to charge in local markets. Price level and price flexibility policies can lead to price discrimination. U.S. anti-monopoly laws, such as the Robinson-Patman Act, ban price discrimination. Selling the same products to different buyers at different prices if it injures competition. Differences in price have to be based on cost differences or the need to meet competition. Robinson-Patman permits charging different prices for similar products if they are not of like grade and quality. But what does this mean? The FTC says that if the physical characteristics of products are similar, then they are of like grade and quality. Therefore, producers wanting to sell several brands at different prices should probably build in physical or other differences that are really useful. Robinson-Patman also allows different prices based on cost, such as quantity discounts. Can cost analysis justify price differences? Yes, but the justification must be developed before setting different prices. Can a seller legally meet price cuts made by a competitor? Yes, if it is done in good faith. If allowances and special promotion aids are not made available to all customers on proportionally equal terms, these promotions may not be allowed. So how can marketers avoid discriminating illegally? The best advice is to be on sound legal footing through consultation with law firms. So now you should know how pricing objectives guide strategy planning for pricing decisions, the choices marketing managers make about price flexibility, the way a marketing manager considers when setting the price level for a product, in the early stages of the product life cycle, many possible variations of a price structure including discounts, allowances, and who pays transportation costs, the value pricing concept and its role in obtaining a competitive advantage and offering target customers superior value, the legality of price level and price flexibility products, and new terms.